Alright, today's video is fog, using the fog controller. So I'm going to show you how to set this up using a sample from Valve, one of their maps. And then you're free to experiment with it as much as you want, but there are a few tricks to getting it to look nice. So we're going to use the settings that they use to create the fog on Highway 17 level, and then from there you can kind of adjust it to make it however you want. Now there's a few pieces to this. There's the fog controller itself, which is this thing right here, and then we have our light environment, and then the third component is using the proper skybox. For the fog to look correct, the color of the fog needs to match or be close to the color of the sky. Otherwise it ends up looking like a poisonous gas or something, because it doesn't blend off nicely into the sky like real fog does. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the sky to the sky that Valve has set up for the maps that they did fog on. So we're going to click on Map Properties, and the name of the skybox texture here is sky underscore day 02 underscore 10. So this is the map that Valve created to do fog, and this is from Highway 17 is the sky from that particular level. And it just blends really nicely with the fog controller settings, and it gives you a nice foggy day. And you can play around with the brightness and stuff like that. Alright, so remember, this is where we change our skybox. And if you want a different skybox, remember we have this website. If you go to the Valve developer community or you Google Source Engine Sky List, you'll come to this list here of the Half-Life 2 skies. So these are all the skies here. And this is where I'm going to get the settings for the sun. So if you're still trying to figure out where I'm getting the settings from, they're coming from here off this website. Alright, now the second thing we need to do is once we set the sky in here, we click apply, we're going to put in a light environment, this little guy right here. We're going to go ahead and open it up. And then you'll want to pause the video and copy each of my settings here, but I got these from the website that I just showed you. So the pitch yaw roll, this is the angle of the sun in the sky, 0 space 135 space 0. The pitch is -30. The brightness, now this is the brightness of the sun in the sky. It's 255, 255, 249. The default I think was 400. I dropped it a little bit to 200. I like that a little bit better. Ambient, same thing. I cut this down a little bit because I wanted it a little bit darker. Brightness HDR, negative, 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 and there's a 1 at the end there. Scale is 0.6. So these 4 settings take effect if you're running HDR lighting. Sometimes it's a little too bright, so these settings here will help reduce the brightness a little bit of the HDR lighting. And that's a 0.8 and a 0.6 on those ones. Click apply. Alright, now the next one, this is an entity from my entity tool, and it's called the ENV fog controller. So you come over here, you type in ENV underscore fog, and you'll see it. It's this guy right here. You drop that in, and we'll open this up. And this is a pretty easy entity to use. I named it Fog Controller. Down here where it says Fog Enable, the default is no, so we need to set that to yes. Fog Blend, we're also going to blend it with the sky, so we're going to say yes. And you can see all the purple ones are the ones I've changed here. The primary fog color, 176, 192, 202. That's the color of the fog. And then the secondary fog color is going to blend between these, 206, 216, 222. These are the colors that you would need to match to your skybox if you wanted to do a different skybox, if you wanted the fog on a different sky than the one that Valve used. These are the colors that you would play with to try to blend it into the sky. The fog start, this is the distance from the player where the fog will initially start to exist. So this is how far in front of the player the air is clear. Now, fog end is not where the fog ends. What this one means is how far away from the player does the fog go to maximum density. So this is where does it start. This is where does it go to maximum density. And then here is fog density between 1 and 0, whatever you want. So 0 being invisible, and 1 being as dense as the fog can possibly get. We'll click apply, close that up, go ahead and run this. And as you can see, I've already got it running, but I'll go ahead and just reload this anyway. All right, so these are the settings that I just showed you. This is the fog. And then, like I said, so if you want the fog closer, that fog start number, if you want to darken it up a little bit, you can do that. But those are pretty much the default settings for Valve and how they did fog. All right, assignment today. This is a empty box, skybox, with a fog controller in it. Send me a screenshot of this right here, showing me your fog. If you want fog in your main map, you can also send me a screenshot of your main map with fog in it. If you don't have to make a new map. But I don't really care what map you put it in, but it does need a skybox. You have to put the right skybox on it, fog controller, light environment. So send me a screenshot today of some fog, and that'll be it for today. Work on your map for the rest of the period.